All right, my friends, welcome to episode 415 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry, the professor, and I play games. In fact, I was just playing a game with Anthony, the dev. He makes games and plays games. We were playing a little bit of Lethal Company, checking out what that's all about.
I do think with four people, it'd be hilarious.
So funny.
I think two is just hard. I mean, it'd be almost impossible solo. I think you at least need three to make it more ideal.
Right. I'll have to grab Chris one of these nights.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be cool.
It'd be stupid. You could hear us scream.
Yeah. I screamed and I laughed, and that's great. That's worth the money right there.
There's a reason why it's so popular.
I got eaten by a spider. We both got chased back into the ship by some crazy-ass monster.
Yeah.
And we got the fuck out of there.
Just noped out of that one.
Yep. Bye. Oh. All right. Well, this week we're doing our normal beginning of the year podcast. We are doing 10 predictions for 2024, 10 gaming predictions. Just trying to prognosticate about what's going to happen this year. I was telling Anthony off mic that my list is, I think, boring, but we'll see how it goes. Do we want to make the other person play something or put any sort of bet on this, or just do the 10 predictions with no bets?
I am not prepared to come to this with a bet. I haven't thought about that.
All right.
Had you?
I did not think of a bet, but how about we do this? I'm planning to see you this summer, so loser buys the other person a beer.
Oh, that's true. We can go to the meat pie place.
Oh, God, yes. How about that?
Beer and meat pies.
Yeah, sounds fucking great. Let's do it. I'm going back to the meat pie place this week. I got my plans have changed, so I'll be here. And that place is fucking great, man. It's so good.
It looked really good.
Oh my God, I've gotten a different kind every time, and my wife has gotten the same kind every time. And she's like, "Wait, you don't want the same one you had last time?" I'm like, no, I want to try them all. They all sound very good.
Got to figure it out first, then you'll go back to the
exactly.
Which one is the best? I don't think
yes, I will figure that out. So we're gonna do predictions. We'll go one-on-one, back and forth kind of thing.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, that sounds fun. And we can comment on the likelihood of the other person's prediction and have our little chat and see what.
We may have some of the same predictions, especially if yours is Nintendo focused on some things. I have to imagine you'd have the Nintendo things I do on here. So
I would imagine, yes. I imagine we have mostly the same ones, but we'll see. I'm going to start with one that is not a Nintendo one, and it is that an Xbox Studios game will score 90 plus on Metacritic this year. I think maybe I'm wrong, but I thought mostly they have not been scoring that high, their first-party studio games. Even like Forza, I don't think got
no. I think it got into the high 80s. Is my thought. It was like their best one. I think you're right, and I think the game that will do it will be Senua's Sacrifice.
That's what's on my mind as well.
That's it, but that has to release this year. But I think they've said it should. But
there's some speculation. I mean, not speculation, but last year when they did that developer_direct, all those games came out last year. So if they follow the same trend, the four that they've announced, Indie, Avowed, Senua's Sacrifice, and the fourth one I cannot remember, maybe they'll all are planning to release this year.
Maybe.
If so, we'll see. But I think Senua's Sacrifice is the one.
No, Sacrifice is the first one. Sorry, Saga is the second one.
I thought Saga was the first one. No, Senua's.
No, you're right. No, I get it confused.
Hellblade 2 is what I think is going to be.
It's called Senua's Saga.
Oh, okay. I got to mix up then.
And it's actually already on Steam. Like, it has a page on Steam. You can wish list it on Steam.
I think it's coming out this year. It's got to.
But anyway, they want to do something. I'm sure they need something.
They do. I think this is it. I think this is the dominoes start falling. I think they're finally going to have some good games out. So.
And Flight Sim 2. Flight Sim 2024 will probably do.
Oh, that's a good point. Well. I forgot about that one. Yeah, they're adding jobs to this one where you can do jobs.
Can you be a flight attendant?
You probably can.
That would be hilarious if you could fly. There's the pilots, the flight. You could just do the whole role play.
I bet you can, man.
That'd be hilarious. I mean, I have the
wanna be
graphics
the
card
guy
for
who-
it. I could do it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, dude. I want to be the guy who tightens bolts. That's who I want to be.
That'd be hilarious. Yeah, please. Oh boy. Don't work for Boeing right now. That's the
I just booked flights for New York, and I'm sure there are a lot of people. I want to hear the news story. I want to hear the NPR story about this. The people who are using Kayak and who are excluding Boeing Max 9s.
yeah. I mean, the first thing I looked
did.
on my trip to Japan, I was like, what are we? Oh, we're on an Airbus. Cool.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, I feel bad. And I even live in Seattle. But it hasn't been a good string of years for the Boeing company up here.
No, they have a monopoly, and that's about it.
Yeah. No, I think you're right
fine.
on that. Like, something's got to give there for Microsoft. I mean, hell, maybe the Diablo 4 expansion will come out and we'll score above 90.
Yeah, I mean,
it'll be Microsoft
true.
at that point.
It will be
going to
Microsoft.
be totally
You're
branded. Right. Microsoft will be on the front. Will be on somewhere on the credits or logo intros of that game.
Well, and they're like, we want to have one big game a quarter. Like, oh, we just bought that's one of our big games. Like, fuck.
Yeah, it's definitely one way to do it. Yeah, I think I think that they're going to get something. I think one of those things we've talked about has to at least break the 90% open critic mark.
Yeah.
I mean, so my next is probably I'll just start off with the one where I'm like, no, this is going to happen. We're getting the Switch 2 this year. 100% going to happen.
Yep. I agree with you.
I have heard some people like, it's probably not this year. They're going to announce, but it won't be that. I'm like, no, it's this year. And it's going to be October, November, most likely. Maybe. Yeah. I'm leaning more towards October, a little earlier to get it out before holidays and ideally lead into it. Do you think they're going to go and do anything wild with it that we're not expecting?
I don't. And I'll read my prediction, same as yours. Switch 2 will be announced first half of the year and will release second half of the year. I don't think they're going to do anything wild because after the wreckage of the Wii U, where they've just come out on top now, don't fuck with it. Just make it better. You know? I think listening to the Kit and Krista podcast where they talked about that very thing and about what they learned from the Wii U and how they're probably going to approach this one, their speculation at least makes me think they're going to play it safe.
Okay.
And not go wildly different.
Like, yeah. Is there going to be any new wild, like, say it's similar form factor, Joy-Cons are still a thing. Is there any crazy feature they're going to add to it that is like, most people are going to ignore this, but Nintendo games, they're going to use it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every time that there's a thing like that, it's something I don't even expect. So I don't know.
Are we going back to are we getting an extra screen somehow? Flip it up.
I mean, a couple people have speculated about that. I think Jason Schreier is one of them, where he expects there to be a second screen.
New Nintendo Switch DS.
Yeah, right? Like a clamshell kind of thing.
Yeah.
I can't. The only reason I could see them doing that is if they want to start porting for money, because if they want to start porting 3DS games.
Yeah. I don't know.
I could see the viability of that, I guess, but because there's a whole library they can't do anything with now.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Maybe it makes business sense to do that. But I don't know. The Switch is such a runaway success. The people who are saying they're not going to release this year, I could kind of understand it because they could ride another year of Switch sales.
I think they could.
But I think they could too. But I think it's coming out this year. I think the big thing is just going to be the DLSS upscaling. I think that's going to be the thing.
All right, because they're NVIDIA, they can do it. That's been pretty heavily rumored.
Yeah,
but we'll see. So yeah, that was my first one was just like, this thing's coming out.
Yeah,
and it's about time.
I dovetail my second one in with yours, so why don't you go give another one?
I will just be ballsy. I'm just going to say this one. Wind Waker HD is coming out on Switch 2. Launch title.
Launch title. I love it.
Part of the launch library. And this is just wishful thinking. I'm going to be honest. I just want it.
excuse me, it fits in with what the rumors have been, where again the Kit and Chris podcast are like, this game is fucking done. They're like, this game is done. It's been done for a while. They will not put it out until it makes business sense. And every time that we were like, yes, it's going to come out, they were like, it doesn't make any sense to come out right now. There's other Zelda stuff. Next year, there's not going to be, unless they're going to do the up-res Breath of the Wild rumored thing. I think Wind Waker HD on launch makes a lot of sense. I would tag on to that, and this is one of my other predictions. I predicted Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
I was going to say, it could be both.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me if they just did both at the same time and were like, yep, here they go. They do like a more expensive bundle pack as well.
Yep.
I'd do it. Let's go.
Yeah, in the absence of other Zeldas, it makes a ton of sense.
It's a great, yeah. And with Wind Waker being such a highly rated Zelda, it's a great one people will be drawn in for it, because guess what? Most of those people didn't buy Wii U's, and they want to play this game.
Exactly. That's a great point. Where I sometimes I think, well, they did the HD thing for the Wii U. Like 13 million people bought that versus 110 who bought a Switch at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to play it again for what, the fourth time. Sounds good. I once again tacked on to yours. So do you want to give another one of yours?
Okay, I'll do this. This one's probably not on yours. I'm gonna predict that VR hardware sales are gonna continue to stagnate with a few small bumps when new things are coming out. Mm-hmm. But it's still not good. Apple's gonna have their big VR AR thing coming out. MetaQuest 3 came out. But I still predict it's not gonna catch on more than just being a niche product. Apple's one specifically is going to review very well. It's going to be great hardware, but it's $1,500.
It's so expensive. Yeah,
it's not gonna be like broad consumer base, and we're at the point with VR where I'm like, I don't see this breaking through anytime soon. Like, even the people I know that have gotten them, like, I've known a couple people up here who've gotten like MetaQuest 3s. They played them for like a couple weeks and haven't touched them since.
Oh man.
Like, they're just not in. They're like, whatever. Like, it's a neat thing to play with, but that doesn't have the staying power for them right now. A lot of times because they're also families and they don't want to be present with everyone else.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Like, there's a lot of reasons not in life right now, in society and how we live and work, and are around people that don't push putting something on and detaching from all of that.
Right.
So I don't see it being more than a niche product. How many years have we gone with VR things coming out, big name VR things, and it just isn't moving the needle in any significant form.
Yeah, I mean, PSVR 1 came out in 2018, maybe 2017. It's been out for a long time. And then PSVR 2 obviously like came out, and even Sony didn't. I mean, in my view, PlayStation did not support that.
Nope, it didn't sell amazing. The real main breakout has been the Quests, specifically the Quest 2 and now the Quest 3 have broken out a bit more, but it has been stated, I've seen that like the Quest division of Facebook is like running at over a $3 billion loss.
$3 billion. Jesus.
Yeah. They've dumped so much money into this, and it's not recouping the money even close.
Right.
There's no projection of it being a profitable business anytime soon. So we're seeing how long do they push on this before they're like, we just got to cut this? Like, cut jobs or cut VR?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing that in the game development space where free money was for so long. It was easy to hire and scale up, and now the free money's gone. Like, well, actually, we got to cut, and this is not making money, so we got to cut. Yeah, and that sucks. But I agree with you. I bought the MetaQuest 2 for my in-laws, and they had fun with it for a couple weeks, and I don't think they've touched it since.
That's kind of how it is. I like VR, and it's neat to mess around with. It's just it doesn't have the right consumer appeal yet. And like I said, I don't think Apple's will because of price. Like,
yep.
I can't see most people spending $1,500 on something like that, and then being, God, if I spent $1,500 on a piece of tech like that, I don't know if I'd trust myself to wear it on my head and move around.
Right. Like, I can't drink when I'm using this thing in case I fall over or break it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you for sure. Speaking of useless things, my next prediction is, I'm going to read it exactly how I wrote it. What a great intro.
It was. I'm like, where's the punchline? Come on, bring it.
A PS5 Pro will be announced this year. Why? I don't know. That's exactly how I wrote it.
I almost put that down, but I held on.
Tell me why they would want to do this. What is the point?
I mean, we're mid-generation. We're about halfway through. This is what's crazy to me. We're about halfway through this.
Yeah, it came out in 2020.
This coming fall will be 4 years, and that's generally the time you start seeing that. But my also feeling is they just put out the slim version of the PS5, so I'm like, I don't know if it'll be this year. It might be next year. I fully expect they're going to do a revved up version of it.
The benefit would be that you don't have to choose between fidelity and performance mode, I guess. Like, what is just...
Pretty much. And then, I mean, that's the thing with well, it's kind of the same way, like, because the games are going to have to work on both, on all versions. So it's either that or you have the Pro, then the ray tracing is turned on most of the time, or like the games are just gonna look better.
Yeah, because maybe it takes advantage of. Yeah, maybe it has upscaling technology that the PS5 doesn't have or something.
That's true. They could use AMD like FSR stuff. Because I've heard FSR 3 is pretty good. There's a number of things that could happen there, but I don't see it this year for whatever reason.
You're probably right. Because of the Slim specifically.
The Slim, the sales aren't really down. Like, they're still humming along really well. So
they absolutely.
It's switching them, and I know that they're like 3-1 against the Xbox right now. Sony is. Yeah. So I think they hold it until they feel like PS5 general sales are starting to slow down. That's my thought there.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right, so that's my fourth prediction.
My fourth one is we're gonna see a number of new handheld PCs this year.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We already saw one at CES got announced. The MSI Claw, worst name ever. Why are you going to call your handheld the Claw?
Because that's how you're going to hold your hands to play.
I'm like, that's great. Really makes me want this thing. But I think all the major hardware companies are going to try. The big problem is that they all have to run. They're not going to run their own operating system. They're probably going to be running handheld Windows, which is terrible. And they can't do anything about that until Microsoft decides to do something. And I don't know when Microsoft's going to do anything. The boldest prediction I could make was that Microsoft would make their own, which maybe would happen, but I don't see it right now.
No, they keep trying to partner with these other ones. Like, here's the official way that you can run Xbox Cloud on Steam Deck and whatever else,
Yeah. But I think we're going to see the handheld PC market kind of blow up with a lot of options that some will be definitely more powerful than a Steam Deck, but they won't have the ease of use as a Steam Deck. Which is going to be where the problems lie.
And that Steam Deck is fucking great piece of tech.
Yep, it is.
Love that thing to death.
The new one, definitely. This thing,
dude,
is so much. They did it. They got it.
Yep. They got us. We finally bought it.
Yep.
And I am playing a Switch game right now. I'm playing Super Mario RPG, which is awesome. I never played the original, but man, and I know it's not a toy, but this fucking Switch feels like a toy in my hands after playing the fucking
Steam
Deck, man. All right, so my next prediction is the Switch 2 prediction. I am predicting that Diablo 4 will be a launch title for Switch 2, which means that I think that the Switch 2 is going to be either a significant power upgrade or the DLSS or whatever is going to make it feasible to run a game like that. And I can see, with Activision or Bobby Kotick a while ago saying, yeah, we fucked it up by not putting going all in on the Switch or whatever. I feel like they're going to want to put as many of those games as they can on the Switch, even though they're now owned by Microsoft. I feel like maybe just like with Bethesda, it's a little bit different. There are still Bethesda games that are on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I think they'll treat Blizzard games maybe differently, but I could be wrong.
Microsoft has been a little bit more friendly with Nintendo overall, so that could fit there where they're like, nah, we're not worried. We don't mind having our stuff on Nintendo platforms as well. Diablo 4 in there would be pretty cool. I mean,
it would be awesome. But also, I mean, at the same time, like we already have the Steam Deck. I can play it on the Steam Deck if I bought the game on the Steam Deck. So it's I don't know, maybe the same thing. But the new expansion, I keep wanting to say Reaper of Souls, which is wrong. I forget what it's called. It's coming out later this year. Even though I drafted it, I think. It's still coming to PlayStation, even though it's now a Microsoft-owned studio.
Yeah. So. I mean, any place that D4 got released, the expansion's coming. Vessel of Hatred is the name of the expansion.
It. Yep. So yeah, and I think that's just like a place. I think it's going to be Diablo 4, but I think it's also a prediction of other games of that caliber are going to be third-party studios are going to be eyeing Switch. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is fucking coming to Switch 2, kind of thing. So
sure, I could see that. Like
for Mirage,
if it has enough power, and at least can handle some of that stuff. I think all these like bigger third-party publishers are gonna port stuff there that may have already released on other systems, and they're just like, hey, let's double dip on this.
Absolutely.
And people will want this portable and et cetera, et cetera.
The only thing is Steam Deck eats into that if people have a Steam Deck as well, and not 100 million people don't. So,
Yeah, that's the problem. Steam Deck is still handheld PCs are still even beyond Steam Deck are a very small percentage compared to the console market overall and the Switch.
Do you think there are more VR units that have been sold versus Steam Decks?
Yes. Just because it's been. Yes, I think.
Let's say just current gen VR, PSVR 2, MetaQuest 3.
Oh, that's questionable.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
That starts being questionable.
Yeah.
I don't know how much units Valve is producing, but I'm sure they produce more than that. Like, so is it April 2023? There was only estimated that PSVR 2 at the high end sold 300,000 units. I have to imagine
that was almost a year ago at this point, but yeah.
I would expect the OLED Steam Deck has probably already sold that amount, if not more.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think the MetaQuest 3 has sold millions of units yet.
That's kind of what I was wondering.
Oh yeah. That was from December 19th. Meta's Reality Labs unit, which is developing VR and AR technologies, which the Quest is part of, lost $3.7 billion.
Oh, God.
Wait, is that? Okay. I'm just reading this. This is a CNBC article. I gotta click through. It lost $3.7 billion in the third quarter.
Oh my God, what the fuck?
The division has lost $25 billion since the beginning of 2022.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
They have thrown so much money at this.
That's incredible. That's so much fucking money. obviously it goes to salaries and whatever else. But what the fuck, R&D and
oh sure,
wow.
They're betting that something's gonna change at some point here. But I mean, how many years can you be willing to do to dump that kind of money?
Man, I wish I could go back in time and take $1 billion and tell them, don't spend the rest of this. Save it.
Yeah.
I just saved you $24 billion by you paying me $1 billion.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So no. Yeah. Latest. I think the Steam Decks probably are beating the VR stuff right now, and just the handheld PCs are beating that market. But they're not approaching the sales of the Switch or a PS5 or maybe an Xbox. I don't know. But they haven't eaten into that market right now. And then when we're talking about like Nintendo stuff, I'm like, I'll buy a Switch 2 because that's where I play my Nintendo games, and that's how it goes.
Yeah, I will always have the Nintendo console because that's the only way I can play the Nintendo games.
And I'll be honest, like I had a PS1 and PS2. I didn't get a PS3 until later, but I will likely always and eventually end up with a Sony console for a similar reason, because Sony will make games that I want to play that aren't other places. Yeah. They don't port everything over to PC, but they have franchises and brands and games that I'm just like, yes, I want to play that, and I have to do it on your console. Okay. Done. Yep.
Well, and think about Final Fantasy, among other things, they'll get it first from third-party partners.
Sure. Yeah, they definitely have certain partners that they are close with. I mean, but there's plenty of consoles. I didn't get a 360 on launch. I didn't get an Xbox on launch. I wait till there's a game that I want to play that gets to the point of being like, yes, I want this. I will pay the price of the console to play this game. I kind of have gotten out. I'm like, I don't know if I would have bought a PS5 right off the bat. Really? I'm like, what did I play directly on that immediately? Not a whole lot. Valhalla, and that was like, eh.
Yeah, I played Astrobot. I played a fuck ton of Astrobot.
Yeah.
And that was nowhere else. But then, I played Valhalla that Christmas.
Like there's a part
and Miles Morales. Morales.
Yeah. I could have probably waited myself and been fine. But that's neither here nor there. But we're back to me.
Yeah, back to you. Your fifth prediction.
There's going to be quite a bit more mergers and acquisitions and continued consolidation in the games market. I think the Activision Blizzard going through was just the start of this whole thing. Now that has gone through, and you're seeing layoffs and like downsizing on some places, you're going to see consolidation. People are going to want outs, and an out of selling to someone else is better than laying everybody off. So you're going to see that, but I also think you'll see things like, at this point, Ubisoft and EA, their boards have to at least be considering like, wow, that was a lot of money that Activision Blizzard got bought for. Do we want that money? They're going to ask themselves that question. Like, do we start putting ourselves out there that we would like to be acquired? Because they could at this point. I don't know specifically who would do it, but I feel like there's a chance that some of these big companies are going to consolidate in. At one point, I would have said Square would have been with Sony, but I think the Japanese companies are a little bit different there. They will probably stay independent mostly, but partner pretty closely.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I was just thinking of, I don't know, the risk that Embracer is not the right example, but like smaller like, AA or like mid-tier or even indie studios who are just like, this is just too turbulent, I'm done. Yeah, I will sell my IP. I will sell, Microsoft will acquire Team Cherry, for example. It's not going to be Team Cherry, but that's what I mean.
Yep.
just to get out of it and have some stability, or just like, you know what, I've made this IP, I wouldn't mind getting paid $25 million for it and just fucking off to an island somewhere. So
yep.
Yeah,
can retire. It's fine. It's too stressful. I don't want to run a company during this turbulent times, as you said. So I think we're going to see more of it.
Yeah. And I think about a company like Mini-Me, who did Shadow Tactics, and
yeah.
They're like, we're not making it. Our niche genre is too niche. Even like, I don't know if they would even be appealing to a big company to purchase, but something like that, where it's like, you have these proven games. It's niche, sure, but it sure would fill our Game Pass catalog or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, some of that I could see. I mean, I don't know what they went through, if they decided they just wanted to leave it, or if they tried to get acquired. Because they might have just been like, oh, hey, we don't want to be acquired. But
yeah,
there could have been something there where they're like, yeah, let's even if it's not huge amounts of money, we're going to close anyway. Just sell it off. But maybe they want to keep it all to the IP still themselves, and keep it just in case they want to come back to it later. So,
well, yeah, and those games are still selling right now. Like, people are buying the latest one.
Yep.
So yeah, and that revenue goes to them.
Yeah,
makes sense. All right, mine. The next one, I think this is a long shot, but I don't care. Majora's Mask remake will be announced this year. I don't think it'll come out this year, but I think there is a Majora's Mask, or why am I thinking Oracle of Seasons? That is totally wrong. Ocarina of Time. Thank you. Yeah. Remake. I think an Ocarina of Time remake is, if it is happening, I think it's closer than a Majora's Mask remake.
I would agree.
But I can, if, and I think this is unlikely, but like, Switch 2 launching with Majora's Mask remake. God damn it. Ocarina of Time remake, and then announce eventually there'll be a Majora's Mask remake or something like that. So that's my wild, way out there prediction.
Okay.
I think it has a very slim chance, but
where's the last place that they've done? They didn't do a remake, but what system was it last released on?
3DS.
Was it the 3DS Majora's Mask? Okay.
Mm-hmm. They did Ocarina and 3DS. Grezzo did them both.
Yep. Oh, it says it has a GameCube version.
Was that on the Master Disc?
I'm looking on Wikipedia, and it was like, hey, there's a GameCube version. Really? 3DS remake, ports and releases. Nintendo released Majora's Mask on the GameCube as part of the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition. A special promotional disc, which also contained 3 other Legend of Zelda games and a 20-minute demo of The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. The disc came bundled with the GameCube console as part of a subscription offer to Nintendo Power Magazine.
Yep.
Wow, I had no clue. I did not have this. That. I never saw it. You have that?
I have this on my Steam Deck.
Okay. That makes sense.
I saw that and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And that's exactly what you just described. Was exactly what was on that.
Man, the GameCube got all sorts of weird things like this.
I want to check out that Wind Waker demo.
There you go.
See how it's different.
Different, yeah. Okay, yeah. So, but yeah, then there was the 3DS remake. Was the last major one. Was released worldwide in 2015. Yeah. But I think you're right. I think Ocarina would be first, no matter what they do.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. I had so many boring predictions. I wanted to make one that was at least less than 10% chance.
Yeah. My next one probably is, I think it's pretty obvious going into this year. But the games as a service model is going to get hit real hard.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's going to be a few entrenched titles that do it fine. Like, I think Fortnite's going to continue.
Yeah.
Some of these just bigger games that are just like, that's just the model that they work under, and people are cool with it. League of Legends, these big free to play stuff. But boy, I don't think anything new is gonna work under this model. I think every new games as a service that comes out this year is gonna fail.
Well, it's the wasn't like a public about face, but like that Sony PlayStation showcase where it was just all games as a service, and like the fucking reaction not being very good, and having heard nothing about those games since. And Factions, the Last of Us one of these, getting fucking canceled. I really just see them walking it all back because they're exactly what you're saying.
I think the market's shifting. It has shifted, but now this is the year where you're going to see that shift. I mean, you're seeing it kind of with the Justice League game. Like, I think that was pretty much panned in all the reviews that just happened.
I mean, the strap line for IGN's was something. No, the strap line was positive. The headline was the one that was like, we played it and we didn't really like it.
Yeah.
I think the strap line was like, but maybe there will be something better in the future. I don't know.
IGN's, unfortunately for Suicide Squad, once the fun story bits end, you're left with a much less inspired combat system and an open world that's filled with tedious tasks.
That was it. Yeah. So also not positive.
GameSpot, these events and battles felt a bit generic, especially in comparison to Suicide Squad's main story moments that are more akin to what Arkham fans are used to seeing. Though each mission had different objectives, they all had the same basic gist of battling waves of enemies while swinging back and forth between rooftops. There's some that feel confident, but it doesn't seem like it's going to land very, very well. And none of the previews are talking about any of its, like, before mentioned games as a service features, which I'm like, did they rip those out?
No, they're hiding them from the previews, probably. I don't know.
Probably, but
because they'll just burn it to the ground. No, I think you're totally right. People are gamers feel done with those, and I mean, it's not even just that. It's also, I think, the preponderance of releases, not just with video games, but TV, movies, whatever else. I don't have time to have five forever games.
Yeah, that's the key problem. Is I think games as a service works for some games. Like I said, there's certain entrenched ones now that works for, but you're not dethroning those games right now.
No,
they have to fail. They're the giants that have to fall themselves, and it will take them a long time to fall. And you're unlikely to just come in here and get a big enough player base that you can make that business model work. So,
right.
And players aren't looking for that right now. Like the players that are cool with that model or are fine with it already have their game. Like that's the thing. It's a hobby. They're not looking for something to replace their League time or their Fortnite time.
Yes, exactly right.
They're like, that's what they want to play.
Right, but then it's interesting because as a game like Lethal Company comes out, which is a different game and it brings people together, and people have been playing it, and I don't know, just purely in terms of time, what the difference is. Either the people who are playing Lethal Company don't play those other kind of games, or enough of the zeitgeist hit it where people were like, let's check it out. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but Lethal Company isn't asking you for spending a lot of time. It's not a hobby. I could totally see people playing it and being like, I'm going to play a little bit of Lethal Company tonight, like 45 minutes of Lethal Company, and then I'm going to go play League for hours.
Mm-hmm.
It fits in. It can fit into those hobby level things pretty easily.
Yeah, it fits in, and I think maybe this is true for streamers as well, but think about every Thursday or most Thursdays I play Rocket League. One Thursday we'll play this instead. Or something like that. We're like, then, and that's fine for a $10 game. Like, you and I played for half an hour tonight. It was funny. I'll play again. I'll probably play a total of like 3 hours and be like, yeah, that was worth $10.
Exactly.
So yeah, great price.
To
be honest.
And that's
kind of like Vampire Survivors,
Yeah.
Okay, my next one is boring, but I will say it anyways. I think this is finally going to happen. Xbox will finally release one major first-party studio game per quarter this year, and I was not thinking about Activision Blizzard, so I will push those out of the equation. And basically everyone else that they had before they acquired Activision Blizzard. I think from all those acquisitions, there will be one per quarter. Flight Simulator is one of them. Avowed, I think, will be one of them. I really do think Hellblade 2 will be one of them. I have no idea about indie, but yeah, I think they'll finally start hitting it where, a nice cadence once per quarter.
That'd be good. They need to do it. They need to figure this out.
Yeah. They own too many studios for them to be doing fucking nothing or putting out Redfall.
Redfall.
I'm like Redfall. That's a book.
Yep.
I already forgot the fucking name of it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I think so. They need to. They got to do something. I'm trying to think if they have other stuff sitting there that we haven't. That they
can join.
They haven't shown.
No, that's way far. That's way far away.
Yeah. They're in such a weird place. Yeah, it really felt like they just got themselves in like this weird limbo right now. They really faltered last year overall.
Yeah.
Their big hits were not big hits, what they were betting on. Bethesda kind of let them down there.
Yeah, for a Bethesda game to stumble that much.
Yeah. What was the other one that? Oh, it's not next year. Arcane Lion was working on.
Oh, Blade.
Well, that's not next year. That's 2025.
Yeah,
at earliest. Yeah, that's the thing. I think you're right. I think this year is they got to nail that solid one per quarter.
Yep.
Something, and then just see if they can keep that cadence. All right. This is what
something
we're doing.
In the 80s, Metacritic 80 to 89, whatever, like just every quarter, something like that. Even just 75. Something. Yeah.
Make people look at Microsoft and be like, oh, they make good games. Because they've been missing a lot for a while now, unfortunately. And there's no reason they should. Like you said, they have enough first-party studios at this point, high-quality first-party studios. I'm like, if they're consistently making products that aren't living up to expectations, then something's happening with like the way Microsoft is trying to run these studios and get stuff out. But yeah. For me, I think with the success of the Super Mario Brothers movie, we're going to see a lot more game movies and TV and Last of Us TV show. I think not necessarily coming out, you're going to see a lot more games being licensed for movies. And there's probably going to be some that are going to be fast track that are going to be terrible.
Oh, yeah. Trying to cash in. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think there's going to be a lot. We already know Zelda's going to be happening. It'll be a few years before that's out. I'm like, we've already had some Sonic movies. There'll probably be another Sonic movie. Let's be honest.
Sonic 3 is this year, I thought. So
is it this year?
I'm almost certain that
of course it is.
Sonic 3 is this year. And those have done well. So
they have.
I put them on the side of like actually okay games. So.
But
movies, not games.
Yeah. Ubisoft might try an Assassin's Creed movie again. Or something.
I went and saw it with my father-in-law. And it was a good movie for a movie to see with my father-in-law.
There you go.
I'll just say that. Sonic 3, the video game? No, I don't care about the 1994 video game. I'm looking for the movie. What's the release date for this? It says the release date is December 20th, 2024. Yep, end of the year.
Okay. There is some things in the works. So you're going to see stuff that coming out. I'm looking at a list of stuff. There's a Borderlands movie that's been filmed.
Oh.
That has some
Jack Black. Jack Black's in it.
freaking huge actors and actresses in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Jamie Lee Curtis is in it.
Oh.
I've seen a list of the cast, and I'm like, how did you get these people? There's a BioShock movie in the works. Death Stranding movie. There was some talks of a Ghost of Tsushima movie. I remember that. Gran Turismo was the first Sony one coming out, but there were talks of Ghost of Tsushima. Really, Sony is looking at all their properties of movies now. I especially expect with The Last of Us being so successful, that they're going to try to fast track other stuff. I know God of War is one that they're supposed to be Amazon. Yeah, Amazon. Yeah. The Fallout TV show is going to hit at the beginning of this year. So there's some coming out, but I feel like you're going to see a lot of announcements for a lot more because I think there's at least been enough success in it critically and commercially now where it's like, oh, we can actually make good versions of movies based on these properties.
Yeah.
The right people are in the right places in Hollywood to respectfully take these franchises and put them into different media. It's not going to work all the time, but it's something. And I think we're just going to see, my prediction is we're going to see a lot more of it because the Mario Brothers movie was like the second or third highest grossing movie of last year.
It was the second because I think only Barbie beat it.
Barbie was the only one. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to say for sure if something else had gotten up there. But yeah, I think so. I think that's a thing, right?
Yes. No, I mean, there's gold in them hills.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is, right? We're gonna hit that. It's gonna be a big rush. A lot of stuff is gonna fail because they're gonna be the cash grab, but there's gonna be a few standouts that push through. But I would say that the success of Mario and some of the like Last of Us and just pushes people to be like, at least try now.
Yep.
Or try again.
And try harder. Like,
yeah,
things have failed because they fucking sucked, and people who made them didn't know anything about the property they're, playing with.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm looking forward to Fallout. I spent quite a bit of time with Fallout 3, and that's about it. But I think that looks like it's gonna be well done. So
I mean, they understand it, the trailer at least made me like they understand the tone that they need to hit.
Right.
And that was the part that I was really worried about was like, do you actually understand the tone of Fallout? Like, Are you going to make this like super dark, depressing post-apocalyptic? Because I'm like, it's easy to look at Fallout and read the description and be like, oh, that's what this is. And I'm like, that's not really what the games are. Yeah. Like, that's an element, but they're much more sarcastic and parody in a lot of ways than just true dystopian hellholes. It's not The Last of Us at all. That's not the tone they're going for.
We have The Last of Us. We don't need a second Last of Us.
Yeah, we don't need that. Those games don't try to be like super depressing. They try to be pretty over the top. Oh right, the I was looking at other stuff here. The Sonic ending of Sonic 2 introduced cameoed Knuckles.
That's right.
And there's talk of a Knuckles Paramount Plus show.
I mean, there's Idris Elba, I think, is
the voice of Knuckles.
Yeah, which is fucking what the fuck world we live in. That's crazy. My next prediction is really on top of this one. I think that a Nintendo TV series will be announced. Something that's like the TV equivalent of their movie stuff. Like we got the Mario movie, we've got the Zelda movie. And then they'll announce something. There was supposed to be some Zelda Netflix thing, which, I don't think Nintendo's going back to Netflix.
No.
They'll keep working with, it'll be on Peacock or it'll be whatever, Paramount Plus or whatever.
Yeah.
But something. I don't know what that something is. I can't even imagine. Fucking Pikmin. There's going to be a fucking Pikmin series or some shit.
Metroid, let's go.
God, dude. God.
No, I think I'd want Metroid as a movie.
I would... Yeah,
I think that fit pacing wise would be better as a movie than trying to stretch it out over TV. But man, want Zelda to do well so that they then will do Metroid.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize that I wanted Metroid until you said that.
It'd be so good.
Holy shit.
Or it could be so good, I should say. In my mind's eye, it could be amazing.
Just like people said Halo could be good. And then they
exactly. Exactly.
How do you fuck that up? But you did.
You kind of do. Like you try to do a TV series on it, on a franchise that doesn't have the narrative bones to hold up an entire however many episodes that was. You could get a good action movie out of Halo. You get a really good, fast-paced, high-quality action movie.
Yeah,
you don't get a thought-provoking season of TV out of Halo. And I don't think that's what people want out of Halo anyway. So I'm just like, what happened here? Like,
let's spend 10 hours digging into the lore of Halo. No, absolutely fucking not. One person wants that. It's Brad, and that's the only person in the world that wants.
Yeah, there's not a huge people want the bombastic. They just chose not to do that. My next is this will be, I think, for good or ill, we are going to see the explosion of AI in game creation.
Oh, absolutely.
This is the year of it. It's going to explode, and we're going to have to reconcile with what that means.
Yep.
And I don't know how it's going to go.
I'm just hoping, like, it's the genie's out of the bottle, the calculator's here. I'm just hoping that it's from like a collaboration perspective, where it's like, this is a tool we use as part of our workflow. It is not something that replaces us, because it can't.
People are going to try on that latter part.
Yes, they fucking are.
And that's what we're going to find out this year.
Yep.
How far can we push?
Yep.
As an industry, this is a video game industry. I'm sure it's going to happen for other industries as well. But this is the year you're going to start seeing that push of being like, well, how much can we replace with AI? Where does it falter? It's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty wild. And it's going to be wild when as games get released. There's going to be definitely factionizing in the games community on like, do you support using this or not, or boycotting or not? And I don't even know where I stand on it right now. Like you, I'm like, there's a lot of relevant ways you could use this as a tool to speed up very tedious workflows. It would be great.
Yep.
I still right now don't believe that the things when they start replacing people is going to be good enough. I think it's going to be noticeable, and the quality is going to be pretty poor overall.
It's the like AI images, right? When you use DALL-E 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah, whichever one.
Mid-Journey. You look at enough of them, you're like, I know which one's AI. Same thing with fucking essays I get from my students. I read enough, I'm like, I know exactly which one of these I've used AI.
Yeah.
But we introduced in the class a way to use AI as a tool for, same thing for them, their workflow to kind of get the juices flowing, or to like start the parts that are tedious for them, outlining or, idea generation. But there are ways to use it and ways not to use it. So I think we'll learn those. I feel confident that we will fuck it up before we get it right.
Correct. I mean, I feel like, and it's going to be a while before we get it right. I think we're only starting to realize how much we fucked up with social media.
Oh my God. Absolutely.
And going like, oh no, how do we fix this as a society, and what are we doing?
Well, I was talking to my wife about that, or not that specifically, but something about Facebook, and I was like, wow, when did I leave Facebook? Fuck, I left Facebook in 2016. It's been 8 years.
Yep.
Wow. Maybe 7.5, but damn. And
it was 8 years ago for me. It was January 2016 when I bailed.
I think I was probably a little later than that. Right after the election, I think.
I was like, I'm out.
Yep.
Done.
Wise. Very smart. But thinking about that and thinking about the people now who are like, oh no, this is not good. Like, yeah, no, it's been not good for a long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you. It's back to me.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to end with my banger. So I'm going to 100% lock. So I have one more that is probably not 100% lock. I'll give this one first. I think the Switch 2 will have 2 slightly different SKUs at launch. Oh. And I don't know what that means. I think that either means LCD OLED. Probably not, actually.
That's where my mind went to.
Right. That's I think that's confusing. I don't know if Nintendo would want to confuse. I think Nintendo's looking at Sony and Nintendo and thinking, we're going to have one that is digital only and one that you can still put a cartridge in. The digital only one will be cheaper. Everything's the same, just one doesn't have a cartridge slot, which is insane because I can't imagine how much that costs, that teeny little thing. Maybe it has a significant cost I don't know about, but I can see them thinking we can get all the revenue instead of giving 30% to whoever.
Yeah. Or more. Retail's usually more than that.
Really?
Well,
shit.
Well, I'm trying to think. They actually probably take more. No, I'm sorry. Nintendo probably gets more than gets a better revenue break on retail stuff because I know most stores don't make a ton on the games themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They have to pay Nintendo quite a bit. Like
to put their stuff on the shelves at all.
Yeah. Like the Nintendo's new game. It's not even Nintendo. It's like any store, box store games. The store selling them does not make a huge amount of money on those games. It's not like they're making 50% of the revenue. Yeah, not even close. I think the store maybe makes like 20% of what the cost is potentially. Maybe even less. Yeah, I think 2 SKUs. Well, I mean, what my mind went to was the LCD and OLED thing, but then it also came down like, Switch 2 just going to have an OLED, or are they going to actually just go to an LCD again?
The rumors have been it's going to be LCD, which makes me sad. Makes me think.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I won't wait, but like, do I wait?
Expense probably for them. They always want to make a profit on their hardware. So
yeah, right.
I saw the rumors that it's going to be more expensive, like $400.
Yeah, but that's why. I mean, I guess I'm hoping they do 2 SKUs. So like, okay, for those of you who want an OLED, here's the more expensive OLED one because that's what I would buy.
Here's the $450 version with an OLED. Enjoy.
Yep, I got a Switch with an OLED. I have a Steam Deck with an OLED. I don't want an LCD.
You're like, I want the OLED. I know.
So good.
Has Nintendo launched other things with multiple SKUs? Different. I know that they've launched with different bundles.
I don't know at launch. Is this something that Wii U? But there was the Wii U that had an 8 and then a Wii U that had a 16 or 32 gigabyte hard drive. So I got the 32, the black one. The white one was the one that was 8, if I recall correctly. But I don't know if it was at launch.
That's hard to say. I don't remember.
But other than that, I cannot think of a example.
No, maybe. I think there was. US $299 was the basic set. Oh, it says deluxe/premium set later bundle was later.
Yeah, right. Because that came on a year later after the Wii U came out.
That would do it.
Yeah. So no, and I think I'm swayed by the idea that they don't want to confuse customers. I don't think they want to have 2 SKUs out there.
Yeah, there's a possibility. They're just like, nope, we always do one. We'll just confuse people with our naming more than anything.
If they do anything other than the Nintendo Switch 2, I think it's a missed opportunity.
New Nintendo Switch. Super Nintendo Switch.
Damn. I love that idea for like us because we would just love it from the gamer perspective, but the general populace I think that's terrible. But they did it before the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. So back when Super was like more of a big deal, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Well, again, the 3DS, the new Nintendo 3DS.
Oh my God, what a fucking clusterfuck.
God damn it.
Well, even just the Wii to the Wii U. Like, what? Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah.
Like, Wii, it sounds like you, like pronouns. Like, no, this is goddamn terrible.
Yeah.
All right, that's my penultimate one. You've got 2 more.
Depressing one. We're not done with layoffs.
Oh, hell no.
I think this year is going to be to continue the bloodletting throughout the industry. There's a part of me that worries. I'm like, okay, when's it going to hit like Microsoft games at this point? Yeah. Like, I expect that there's going to be something that I would expect Activision Blizzard is going to dump some people here sometime this year.
There's going to be too many redundancies between what
exactly.
Yeah.
They're just gonna be gone. They don't want to do it right now, but they will hold. No. They will hold probably till sometime later in the year and do those cuts, and that will be significant.
I think with not Twitch, somebody I'm forgetting right now. I think we're up to like 25% of last year's total.
Oh yeah, no, Unity.
Thank you. Yeah, Unity. That's it.
Unity laid off 25% more.
35, I thought.
25%. 1,800 employees.
Okay. Fuck.
That was 6 days ago. And Discord laid off 17%.
Yeah.
Which was 170 people. Because Discord's I now know that Discord was 1,000 people.
There you go. That's how math works.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, the tech industry is getting it, but yeah, Unity is cutting. I think Unity as an engine is pretty screwed at this point.
Yep.
And they've always been. They've never been profitable.
The model is. Yeah, go ahead.
They've never had a model that works as an engine company. Like, they just haven't been profitable, and it's kind of coming back now of being like, okay, so what are you doing here to like actually make money? And the model that they proposed was terrible.
Yeah, because they were trying. That was like, we got to be profitable. Here's what we should have done from the beginning: is charge people for this.
Well, they charge subscriptions for the most part for Pro, but the subscriptions weren't expensive. When you compare it to like what you have to pay per year, and it's not like that's that much more. The cost doesn't scale with big studios using it,
right,
or big games coming out. Like, the success of a game on Unity did not bring more money to Unity, not at all.
Which is what hurt them tremendously.
In the end, yeah. Epic with Unreal 4 was just like, yeah, if you make over $1 million, 5% goes to us.
Yeah,
that's your agreement. And really, if you're making a game that makes well over $1 million, 5% is fine for not having to pay your own engine team able to work. Right. Like, you are actually still coming away on the better side of that deal. But yeah, Unity just never did. They were like, they had the subscription, and then you could always use the personal version to make things, and no one would ever get any cut of that.
Right.
They never approached it as a way of as like really a strong business model, or like how we're gonna. It kind of just as a company, it organically kind of just happened as they kind of grew and became this engine company. So. Yep. Yeah,
well, I mean, it's massive, right? Is it only second behind Unreal, or is it even ahead of Unreal?
I don't know any. Well, definitely on mobile, Unity reigns.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Unity is, if you consider mobile, I wouldn't. There's a good chance Unity is the number one used engine.
Yeah.
Overall, but that's the thing. They get no money from like. Oh, let's say Genshin and Honkai Star Rail are both Unity.
Yeah.
Unity is not making any more money than the subscription cost to pay the developers per seat subscription cost to use Unity, which is like $1,500 a year.
Yeah, I feel like Genshin is what broke Unity. We're like, we could have gotten 5%. It's like oh god damn it, what the fuck is his name? Steve Albini, the producer of In Utero, who, unlike Butch Vig or any other producer, they all charge percentages of royalties. Not him. He feels that producers are like plumbers, so you just pay him for a job. So for In Utero, they paid him for a job, $3,000, $8,000, whatever. You know, it was a let's say $50,000, whatever. He didn't get any money off of royalties of that album, so he didn't have the ongoing income or the scaled up income because the album was massive.
Yep.
Like, what the hell? What the fuck?
But yeah, I think we're gonna see quite a bit more layoffs, which will inevitably also be tied to, I'm sure, game cancellations happening as well.
Absolutely.
As a lot of these big publishers and the studios just reevaluate their portfolios, what they're making, as the industry has tightened its belts a bit more.
I mean, Embracer is going to implode this year, so that alone.
Geez. I mean, they're already imploding. I don't know what.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, do they have anything else that? I mean, I guess they do because they own like so much stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they own Gearbox, so Borderlands. 4
it's
eventually.
Gonna be so bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, not the game, but just like owning Gearbox. I'm like, that's not gonna work out. Oh. Yeah, now I've just kind of depressed myself a little bit thinking about this.
Well, let's
give me something else.
Okay, I'll give you my 100% lock. I had two different ones here. One of them is a sad one, not a depressing one. So I will not give that one. Instead, I'll give the happy one. I think it's 100% guaranteed that Switch 2 is going to launch with Mario Kart 9.
Wow.
I think that's a happy one because that game is a fucking system seller, obviously.
It is a system seller. I'm like, what is Mario Kart 9 after how much time and effort they've put into Mario Kart 8?
I've been thinking about that because, they put out a fuck ton of courses for the expansion pass and also Mario Kart Tour on mobile. I feel like it's people cutting their teeth, getting new team members in, getting new people in to develop stuff for Mario Kart and getting their teeth wet, Jesus Christ, feet wet on that whole production
Double Dash
process.
2. Let's go.
Dude, Double Dash 2 would be great. But I feel like it's just bringing in more people to get them ready for what's next. Okay, you've done the work as a team on this pack for the expansion pass for Mario Kart 8. Great. Now you're on this for Mario Kart 9. What a way to start the Switch 2.
You're not wrong. Is it still the number one selling game on Switch?
Absolutely. Yep.
That's
I think by like 10 million, which is crazy because it's a Wii U game.
Yeah. It is a Wii U game, and then they just kept it going. Yep, 57 million copies as of September 30th last year. Oh, I guess we're going to be getting the financials here soon for end of the year.
Oh, yeah.
So I bet it crosses 60 million at this point.
Yep.
Animal Crossing is at 43. Smash Brothers Ultimate at 32. Breath of the Wild at 31. Holy
it's
cow.
Amazing to me that, I love Smash Brothers, but they've sold more than Breath of the Wild, which is, I guess Tears of the Kingdom's there now, but like Breath of the Wild is like my favorite game of all time, maybe second favorite game.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just personal taste, but why is only less than a third of Switch owners own that fucking game?
Yeah. But just over half of Switch owners own Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
That attach rate is insane.
That's really crazy. I remember when I rebought it on Switch, and I was like, am I really going to buy this again when I have it on Wii U? I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
So glad. We've played the shit out of that game. Oh, man. We played it last weekend, in fact. Well, we had forgotten that the new courses that come out on the expansion pass, the final ones that come out. So we had a real good time. So I think it's going to launch with Mario Kart 9. I can see it being a launch window, but I'm going to go with launch day and date.
Yeah. It's not a lock, but I think it would be a strong contender as a featured launch title to be like, God. Why do you get a Switch 2? Because you want Mario Kart 9.
Yep.
And it only plays on the Switch 2. Well, my final one is I think we're going to actually go into a year where we're going to see more exclusives this year. I think hardware and storefronts are going to be fighting for people's dollars more. And we're going to see not a cross-pollination across storefronts, but actually putting up more walls in storefronts and fighting for exclusivity more. Like, why do you want to own my hardware? Why do you want to go here? Whatnot? Because I have these games, and that's why you're here. And I think the only one that's not going to do that is Microsoft. The rest of them are putting walls up, and Microsoft's been like, yeah, our console's not selling well enough right now. We just gotta. I think they're going to pull a Sega in that regard.
Do you think they're going to go full third party?
No, not yet. But do you think they have another Xbox in them?
I think they have one more.
Okay.
I think there will be one more, and if it does, like
I guess think I could see there's this likely the rumored kind of previewed like revision that's going to happen to the series, like the mid-generation revision.
No, I don't mean that. I mean like a new generation.
So 4 years from now, they got one more to try.
I do. I think there'll be one more, and then they will pivot from there to cloud because that will have caught up at that point, or they'll be like, you know what, our graph has continued to come down to the x-axis. I think X is the horizontal one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We need to stop. We need to pull the plug. People like our games. We're going to put our games on everything and make a fuck ton of money.
But for this year, I do think there's going to just be more hardware and storefront exclusives than we've seen recently. I think you see some of that already, like Persona 3 Reload is not. I think that's PlayStation.
I think.
Or is it coming?
No, is there a Switch SKU?
It's everything.
Oh no, it's Xbox marketing.
It's Xbox marketing, but it's PlayStation and Xbox. But it's not Switch.
It's not Switch. I thought it was Switch. Oh, okay.
No Nintendo SKU. Not listed there. So I don't know. That's kind of a bold prediction, but I feel like with tightening of belts, the main storefronts are going to start pushing to try to get more revenue to them, people to focus on their games and what they can offer, to try to sway the people that haven't been swayed at this point.
So thinking of like Alan Wake 2, which was Epic exclusive kind of thing. Yeah.
Stuff like that. I think you'll see more. I think you're going to see more out of Epic doing that more. Yeah. Specifically, like they're the only challenger to Valve. Valve will never do it. No, that's not true. Yeah. Valve will do it if they have their own games. If they're magically making another game.
Half-Life 3, baby.
Yeah, it's not like you can buy any Valve games recently on any other platform.
Orange Box 2.
The Orange Box was everywhere, but then Alex is only through Steam. I mean, I look at it, I'm like, Dota 2 is only through Steam.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Valve has to make another game, and I just they're not right now. I'm sure they're making games, but a game that will actually release, probably not. That's so few and far between.
I forgive them for having made the Steam Deck. Like, you made the Steam Deck, great. You don't have to make games. I will just play your Steam Deck.
That's true. They could just. I mean, I guess is Counter-Strike 2 out? That's only on Steam right now.
Yeah. Is that?
But they haven't put Counter-Strike 2 on any other platforms. No. Yeah. They want to control that. Oh, Valve. Will you just... I get it. You have your hardware side, but I'm actually surprised there isn't a Steam Deck specific kind of game. I know that there's like a demo thing, but...
say job or desk simulator or whatever it is.
Yeah. There's like that small... Which I wouldn't... It's kind of a game. It's a very small game, but I'm like, where's our Half-Life Alyx for a deck?
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That's right. Yeah.
Nowhere right now.
That's correct.
Where's Portal 3? Where's Half-Life 3?
Portal 3 just released. It was.
I saw that. Revolution.
Portal Revolution. That's it.
Yeah.
People are like, this is it. This is Portal 3.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it is. It's.
Did they have Valve's blessing for that game?
I don't know. Probably not.
Actually, you know what? It's not. They're not selling it. So
they're not selling it's free. It's a mod for
exactly. It's a mod for Portal.
Portal 2.
Yeah, like, oh great, you want to play that? Cool, you have to buy Portal 2.
Yeah, they don't.
Which everyone owns anyway, so.
Yeah. Still Valve games. Have they announced absolutely anything else? No. Counter-Strike 2 was the last thing that they ever announced that they were working on as a game. Okay.
So there you go. That's no hope.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm always struck by I thought it was Campo Santo. They bought Campo Santo, who was working on Valley of the Gods.
They did.
And then Valley of the Gods just like disappeared.
Because Campo Santo, most of those people left Valve.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, most of them quit.
I didn't realize they left. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the main people left. Because they didn't like working at Valve.
So why did they sell to Valve then? Money, I guess. Money's the answer.
I have all the reasoning, but yeah, most of those people don't work there anymore. A few do, but the main people that were working on that game left. And then, like most things at Valve, like there was no pressure for anyone to work on Valley of the Gods anymore. So it just goes away. I'm sure something exists in the servers of Valve in there somewhere, old source code and ideas, but not anymore.
Just sad.
Yeah.
All right.
That was it for me.
We did it. We hit our list of 10. And it was a little late. We're both a little tired. Anything else for the podcast this week?
No. I was game jamming. I didn't play anything really of note. I made games. So there you go.
Well, congratulations on working on Portal 3.
Exactly. No. Oh, that would in a game jam, making a game like Portal, I think that would break me.
That would be a lot for 4.5 days.
That would be a lot. Even just getting that mechanic to work in 4.5 days would make me cry. I'm pretty sure.
It took my family a while to figure out how that works, even just in Bridge Constructor Portal.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, where you go in here and you go out there? How does that work? Like it's a video game. It's not real physics.
Portal.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's the mechanic. It's not real. It's not reality.
Yes. Exactly. All right, folks. Well, this was episode 415 of Prof and Dev Play Games. Thanks for listening. If you like us, please rate us on your podcast service of choice. And next week, we shall be back to recap the developer_direct.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Looking forward to it. All right, folks. See you later.
Later, everyone.